Today we're working on a 2005 4Runner V6 two-wheel drive, and this car has 189,000 miles on it. And I was doing a quick inspection on the car, and I noticed that there was some hardening on some of the hoses, particularly this one right here. That is the PCV valve, the positive crankshaft ventilation valve. That's right on there. So today I'm gonna go ahead and replace it, and hopefully it'll be not too bad of a job. But before we start working on trying to replace it, replace this PVC valve, one of the things that we got to figure it out is first what part number we're gonna need. So today we're going to be using a Duralast PCV 1014DL positive crankcase valve, ventilation valve. So one of the easy things I want to do to test this valve is when you open it, you need to hear a little ball inside kind of shake. Yeah, hope you can hear it. So this means that is good. So the valve is going to be screwed in to the crankcase this way, and it's going to allow for air to flow out of it, and we'll stop it if air tries to go this way. So it's like a check valve, really. It'll just allow air with remaining of fuel gases to come out of the crankcase, relieving the pressure and going back into the combustion cycle. So if this little valve starts going bad, you'll feel that the car idles a little bit rough, and your gas mileage is not quite as good. It'll create pressure. You may start noticing some leaks in the oil from the seals. So it's not very expensive. It's like $13 at AutoZone, and it keeps your car fuel efficient. So let's see if we can remove this. This basically just comes right off from both ends. There. And then it comes out that way. Make sure that you keep these clips because you will need them again. And one of the things that I noticed is that on the PCV valve side, this part right here had become really hard, and therefore was allowing some air to go through, possibly not making it quite as efficient. We're going to go ahead and remove these clips. We're going to reuse them. And we're also going to reuse this cover. So we're going to go ahead and remove this. So this positive crankcase ventilation valve uses a 19mm valve, socket. But in our case, this comes pretty close to a 3/4 inch deep socket. And we're going to be using a 3-inch extension. That way we can remove it without having to remove many more things out of the way. So hopefully it'll come out in one piece. Yeah, it came out pretty easy. Okay, so you can see it looks pretty dirty. The ball still shakes, so that lets me know that this positive crankcase valve is still in pretty good shape. But if we compare it to the new one, the new one does bounce a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and replace it. and hopefully it'll make the car work a little bit better. Be careful when you screw this in not to cross thread any of the threads on the crankcase, because then you'll be really wishing you hadn't replaced it. So you just put it in with your hand, put in the same 3/4 inch, and you start screwing it back on. All right, so the next step, now that we got our new valve in place, is going to be put some new rubber hose in. So this particular hose that we're replacing, we're taking this one out, and I showed you guys how this part had gotten super hard and it was just probably not making a really good seal. We're going to put some 5/16 inch hose in. This is just some hose that you can get at AutoZone or O'Reilly's or any of these auto parts store, and it is very inexpensive. 5/16 is what you'll probably find. It's not metric like the OEM for Toyota, but it'll be a pretty close approximation of what you're going to be needing. It's a little bit smaller than the original, but it'll serve just right, and it is super cheap. So you'll probably need approximately 9 inches worth of hosing, and that should get you where you need to go. So now let's try to put it on. The one thing we're going to try to do is put it back in the covering that it originally had, so that it can be protected against the environment and things like that. So we're going to put it in like that, and we're going to sneak in our clip, and you see our clip is kind of loose, so I'm going to make it a little bit tighter by pulling it out this way. Yep, it should be tight now. Yep. So now let's see if we can put it in. And that seems to have gone all the way in, so that's a good thing. Now I am going to move in the clip, the retaining clip, into position. And that should be right there. I'm just going to sneak the cover in, and I'm going to route it through to this other end. Before it goes in, I'm going to do the same thing to the other clip. I'm going to make it just a little bit tighter so that it clamps around the smaller hose a little bit better. I'm going to put it in. Still a little loose, so I'm going to make it just a little bit tighter. Yep. Maybe there. Yep. There is good. Let's sneak it in. And let's see if it goes on the other end. Yep. It snuck in super tight. And now we're gonna clamp it in place. And there it is. So now we got our new valve over here. We got a new valve over here. We got our new tube. We reuse the protection, and we got the new tube coming to the other end, to the back into the combustion area. So hopefully this will help you guys. So after replacing the PCV valve, it's kind of important to go ahead and just start the car, try it out, make sure that everything works okay. So far it starts okay, nothing that is out of whack with the car. I'm gonna try to put a little bit of gas in it. It feels pretty smooth, and the RPMs go up and down pretty smoothly. So it looks like the PCV valve took well.